You're listening to BQN. Assimilate the audio.
Engage.
78 years have passed since the days of the original USS Enterprise. Now a new Galaxy starship has been designed.
Welcome to Galaxy Class, a Star Trek Next Generation podcast on BQN and Fandom Podcast Network. I'm your host, Counselor Amy Nelson. And with me today is Diplomatic Standard Bearer Kevin Scarf. Hello, Kevin.
Hello, Amy. We're doing it without Joe this week, so it's a new learning curve.
It absolutely is. Joe, where are you?
Well, Joe couldn't be here today, but
yeah, he's not here. He's definitely needs a week off to be with family, and we definitely appreciate all the work he's done since now we're doing it this week.
yeah, I can't. It took two of us to put this together. I can't believe that Joe did it by himself, and he got the episodes a day after us too because of where he lives.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for all your hard work, Joe. We will never. Well, I'll never say never. I was going to say we'll never slag on you again, but I'm sure we will.
Yes. So how have you been this week?
I've been good. I missed last week's live broadcast because I was clowning around in a parade, which was fun. I have a friend who's in the Niagara Clown Alley in Niagara Falls, New York, and they were doing a little neighborhood parade in a small town called Youngstown, which is just across the Niagara River from Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario. And so my friend and I went down and put on some clown makeup and some big shoes and did a parade. It was the first time I'd been in clown since well before Christmas, and it was just fun to get back out there. So yeah, that's where I was last week.
You know, I was thinking of you. I don't know. Do you listen to Gates McFadden's podcast?
I do.
And
I love her show.
Her interview with Brad Boimler, who's played by Jack Quaid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his name,
yep,
right?
Jack Quaid, yep.
Yeah. So she was talking about her teaching clown and how important that is, and like how freeing that is for personality to go and do these things. And I was just thinking of you the whole time. And I'm like, you need to get Gates up there to teach your clown class because she's done it before.
I think she would be a fantastic clown teacher. Yeah, she teaches a real specialized, like European style of clown, which I think would be very cool.
Yes,
very cool. So,
all right.
This is the captain. Senior officers will report to my ready room immediately.
Well, listeners, we are going to talk about Star Trek Picard, episode 6. Oh my gosh, we're on the way to the end. The Bounty. Oh, I don't want it to end. It is so good.
Isn't it nice to see our friends again?
Yes, it is. Almost all of them are back together. We're just missing Troy.
Well, they were all in this episode. All 7 of them were in this episode. It's the first time since Nemesis that all 7 of them have been in the show.
Oh my gosh.
It's the first time where characters who were leads on Next Gen, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager have ever appeared in the same show. The first time ever.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So this is a momentous occasion.
I guess maybe first TV show because I guess there was. I mean, I'm counting Worf as our Deep Space Nine character, right? And we've got 7, who's our Voyager character, and I guess they all 7 of them plus Janeway were in Nemesis, right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
So that was a movie, not a TV show. So we're picking nits.
Yes,
but this story has been great. This story has been great. And I love that even though they are our old friends, we haven't seen them in over 20 years, and they've all changed and grown a bit. Don't you think?
Yeah. And we'll talk about that at the end because that's an important point that I think we need to discuss.
I agree.
All right. Well, shall we get into it with our opening scene? We've got Vedic, and she is brutal. Just going around. You are questioning me. Bam, you're dead. Like, who kills an officer? Just think about if Picard, the people on your bridge, they're important. They've worked their way. They're the best. And she's just like, nope, you're questioning me. I'm going to kill you. This is not a nice person. And I don't know what her objective is. If you just kill everyone that's working for you, you're going to be doing it alone.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure what Vadic's deal is here. Obviously, we learned that she's definitely a changeling this episode, right? Because we saw her do the changeling thing. But she seems to be working across purposes from some of them. So I don't know.
Yeah. And she said, like, there will be unity and silence and peace again after the lifeless bodies are floating out in space or something like that. And I'm like, what peace is she wanting? There's I think that introduction of, the changelings have split into different factions. Something like that.
I don't know. And we'll get to at the end the revelation of what was actually taken, but that floored me a little bit, and I don't understand. But that's good that we're 6 episodes in and there are still things I don't understand.
Yeah. And so here she's hatched the plan to capture all of Picard's wherever he goes for comfort or for support. We're going to gather them up. And boy, does she start gathering. She
does. We haven't seen Talon yet, though. Like, that's somebody she could gather up. That's who Picard's been turning to for comfort in the last couple of years, right? It's Talon. Laris, that's who I meant. Laris. Okay. Laris, not Talon. Talon is somebody else. Laris. Yeah. Like, Laris is on Romulus now, right? Or she's helping out with something in a Romulan colony. So we haven't seen her go there yet, but I would like to see Laris come back because I love her, even if I don't know her name.
Yeah. All right. Well, after the opening credits, we get Picard and Beverly that are in sick bay, and Beverly has now finally taken a look at Jack, and he's got Irumodic syndrome.
Yeah, this is a bit of a shock. So now we know why he's been having these hallucinations. It doesn't tell us why he can tell who's a changeling,
right?
Like what the deal is with that. We don't really know what's going on. I don't know, and I love that I don't know.
Yeah, and so do we know any of the symptoms of Irumodic syndrome? Because Picard's been living with it, and I thought back in the series they were saying like the ringing in his ears or something, because in Nemesis, Shinzon's like, I had this ringing, and then they, checked me out, and I've got this Irumodic syndrome. So we learned that Shinzon has it because it was, passed on. But I don't, why is it so different than what we saw Shinzon, and Jack's got these flashbacks? Is that because of Irumodic syndrome, or is it because of something else?
I don't know. Irumodic syndrome is a degenerative brain disorder, right? Like, it makes disintegrates your synaptic pathways in your brain.
Because that's what Beverly was saying, like the frontal cortex or something. It's still intact, but it might deteriorate.
Yeah. And the interesting, Picard didn't develop it until late in life. Like, the first time it was mentioned was in All Good Things, right? And it wasn't even the prime timeline. It was the alternate future.
Right.
I wonder if that has anything to do with it. If it's because it's an alternate timeline. I don't know.
Yeah. I've gone back and forth because it was introduced in All Good Things, but then made canon in Nemesis, like for prime time.
Yes.
And then it was talked around about, right, with Q in season 1 or 2.
Well,
Yeah.
he was told that his brain defect could result in one of many syndromes in 2399. He was told that. So that was in season 1 of Picard, right? And that all of those syndromes would be fatal regardless of treatment, which is why he got put into the synthetic body, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I don't know.
So one thing that I loved with this was Beverly is the best mom, hands down, because we get Picard like hearing that he's passed this trait, this syndrome down to Jack, and he's feeling the burden, and she's like, stop feeling sorry for yourself and go unburden Jack. Like her primary focus is her child. That is exactly what a mother should do. Get your crap together, Picard, and let's go support Jack in his difficult time, because this is happening to him.
Why did she never scan Jack for Irritmatic syndrome? If she knew Picard was the father and that this syndrome was genetic, you would think that would have been like one of her first things.
Ooh, yes. And that she would be doing physicals on him all the time. But I guess, sort of like with anything, you don't see it unless you're looking for it.
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to let that one slide.
Yeah. Sometimes things just happen for story reasons, right? And we needed the story to happen this way.
Yeah. And we get just a little bit of Jack accepting the news, and feels broken. And he's like, man, I feel dead. Like it's a death sentence. And we get just a real quick clip of that. I would have liked to have seen that explored a little more through the episode, because again, this is happening to Jack, but they sort of make it more about Picard. I don't know. I would have liked to see more with that with Jack. Yeah.
But there are in some ways more important things going on right now. Like they are being chased by the entire Starfleet, and they've got changelings coming after them. So I mean, it's great that we know what's going on here now, but they've got bigger fish to fry right now than dealing with this.
Yeah. All right. So next we get Worf and Raffi beaming aboard the Titan. And the banter between them all is just wonderful to see every single time. Just the chemistry, and to have them all back is so, so good. And how Worf is like, thanks for sending me the sour mead. Picard's like, sour mead? And then Riker's like, your chateau.
Yeah. Maybe there's not enough blood in the blood wine for Worf's
exactly. And I was reading that what was it, 2 episodes ago? Like Jack calls it sour mead as well. So it's sort of this running joke this season.
And Shaw doesn't like his wine either. Worf is now the third person who doesn't like Chateau Picard wine.
Yes. So it's not everyone's cup of tea.
No, that's quite funny.
Yeah. And then Worf and Seven go and do a briefing because they've got quite a bit to share. And so then they're briefing them on the changelings and how they're like, well, we delivered the cure to the Great Link, like Starfleet did this. And then Raffi's like, not without weaponizing a few zealots in the process. So I think this is the first time where it's like, okay, the changelings are in different factions. Maybe this is the Civil War that it's bleeding into the rest of the quadrant, I guess.
Right. You know, I mean, Starfleet did introduce the virus to the Great Link in the first place, and then they're the great saviors and bring the cure as well, right? So the changelings do have some reason to be upset, but the founders also started the war, right? Like the Federation was doing all they could to try to avoid a war at the beginning of DS9, and the founders were the ones that really ramped things up and started things going, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it Section 31 that introduced the virus into the link?
Yeah, I was going to ask you to clue me in on that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. As I recall, it's been a while since I've done a DS9 rewatch. It was Section 31 that introduced the virus into the Great Link, and then Starfleet provided the cure, as far as I recall. If any of our listeners can tell us differently, please note it in the comments.
Yes.
Section 30. Rashid says it was Section 31 that infected Odo, and Odo took it back to the link.
Okay. So what was this disease is so in Deep Space Nine when they were like all flaking away?
Yes.
That's the disease that was introduced. Okay. And so at that time, then there were some changelings that are like, damn Starfleet, they did this to us. And so there's this bit of revenge coming in.
I believe so, yeah. Yes,
Okay.
Rashid and Paul agree with that assessment of Starfleet history.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
So glad we have smart listeners. Thank you, guys. So
yes,
then
while
they're
they
like,
provided the
okay,
cure,
well,
they also provided the disease. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That would, piss me off as well.
Mm-hmm.
So then they're catching them up that this portal weapon was just a ruse because there is something greater happening going on. Something was stolen at Daystrom. They need to figure it out. And now they realize that the Daystrom station is guarded by this AI system that thinks and adapts. And Raffi's like, we could get the manifest to see where it's stolen right here. And she points to this one section. But they have to defeat or figure out how to work around the AI system.
Right. Did you have any thoughts about what the AI system could be?
You know, I didn't, because it just sort of seems like a natural technology, especially where we are currently in this day and age with that Chat GPT or whatever, and these AIs that are writing everything for us now.
You didn't think peanut hamper automatically?
Oh, I definitely did not think peanut hamper.
I would love a Lower Decks reference in this show somewhere.
Yeah. So they hatch a plan to break into Daystrom Station. They have the key. Thankfully, it works. I mean, that was a little tense. Welcome to Daystrom Station, visitors. And then whoop, whoop, it instantly turns over.
Yes, that was pretty tense. Subterfuge. This is like a heist episode, right? We've got they've made the plan. They're breaking in. They know what they're doing. They know what they're going for. And of course, there's always something that fouls the plan. And a short timer is what fouls this plan a little bit.
Yeah. And again, the chemistry between Worf and Riker, Worf is really throwing Riker he's turning his world upside down. What do you mean?
Yeah.
You would come back at, quips that I would give to you. And I'm a pacifist now. It just adorable. Loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. Worf is really in charge here, right? Riker is along as backup muscle, I guess. But this is Worf's mission, really.
Yeah.
Because he's been working it for months, right? He's known about this for a while.
Yes. And so they're going through, and then we get this black crow. So when you saw the crow, did you instantly think of Data's dreaming?
Uh-huh.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Birthright Part 2. Yeah. Or Part 1.
Yeah, part 1, I believe. Yeah. So that started to make me question, okay, well, what is the AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because then we saw Moriarty.
Well, we get this music note.
Right.
And Riker, of course, playing trombone. And
Riker
apparently he has
pitch.
perfect pitch, right? Who knew this? But it fits into the storyline. And it's like F sharp. And it's like, what is going on? And why the music like shook the station? Like that was intense with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
What kind of AI uses an F sharp to scare people off?
And then Moriarty appears, and you're like, oh my gosh, Moriarty is the AI. That's what I was thinking.
That's what you're led to think, right?
Yes. And again, there's more notes coming along, and Riker's like B flat, da da da, you know, naming all of these notes. And and Moriarty like points a gun at him and like shoots, and like they're real bullets, and it's like, what is going on? And he's like, I have this earworm. It's been annoying me, obviously, for 30 plus years. I can't solve it. And that's the clue, right? That it might be Data.
Yes.
Because at Encounter at Farpoint, Data's whistling, pop goes the weasel, but never finishes it. So it makes sense that this AI Data can't finish the song until we get Riker.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's pretty good of him to pick up the song. Like, I mean, I think he started to think about the song from the first note. It should take a couple notes before you know what the song is, but they did a good job of that. And I did love seeing young Riker again too. I thought that was lovely. Yeah.
I loved that we have Riker's face, and then it goes to the flashback, and you're like, was he ever that young? It's this juxtaposition that my mind is trying to wrap around, because it's like, no, I know this Riker and I know this Riker, and they're just so different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And Paul says it is the same song from the opening credits that Joe figured out, which is great.
Sorry, you control that.
You do it. Never mind. We're both trying to hit the button at the same time. I think
yes.
Yeah. So that's one more hidden thing in the opening credits or the closing credits that we could check off the list. Is there's where the song. I don't know. It's just very exciting to see these things, right? This is the way to give fan service, right? Everything. There's so many references here in Daystrom Station to things that have come before, and yet everything seemed like it was in service of the story. It wasn't just, oh, here's another thing from the past. Oh, here's another thing that you loved. Everything that was in here served the story, and it moved the story forward, and I loved it.
Yeah, and interesting enough, when we found out that Moriarty was going to be in season 3, I also
that Facebook
wanted
user is
so much more.
That Facebook user is Jim McMahon.
Oh, yes. Okay, thank you. So, Jim, I am absolutely with you. I wanted so much more of Moriarty. Like, we didn't get enough of him. And when we found out that he was going to be in this season, I was playing it in my mind like last season, or was it the first season? The first season. Where was Q? What season was that?
Season 2 was Q.
Okay. Yeah. So, Q's storyline in season 2 was just hit and miss, just real small plot. So I was thinking we're going to get Moriarty and get more of his conclusion of being kept in that box for all this time. So I was a little disappointed that that's the last we're going to see of him.
So it wasn't even really Moriarty at all. It was just an image from Data's brain, right? All of
Right.
these things that
Yeah.
we had seen, the crow, the Pop Goes the Weasel song, the image of Moriarty, these were all things that had challenged Data. All of these things
Yeah.
were things that challenged Data,
Yeah. That's true. That's
right?
true.
Because the
I
crow
mean,
came from
even
his
the
dream,
and that was a
right?
challenge for him
Because
to
he didn't know
investigate
why.
that part
Yeah,
of his humanity.
right. The song he couldn't whistle, so he couldn't finish the
Yep.
song. And then Moriarty was created to challenge Data. So all of these things were things that were built to challenge Data.
Ooh, that's good. So
Yeah.
then we do finally see Data, or I guess I'm going to call him Brent Spiner, because
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm like, which Soong character is this going to be? Because we know it's not
Mhm.
Data.
Right.
Yes.
That was really interesting and really not a surprise because we knew he was coming and we had been told that Lore was back, right?
Yep. Yep.
Like that we had known since before the season. I love that they give us info and then they twist it. So what we end up with is different from what we thought we were going to get.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was just like, yeah, but there's definitely hints of Data in there. So it's not really Lore. So yeah,
Nope.
we're held at this question mark right now. So next, the Titan finally gets to the Fleet Museum, and we have Geordi LaForge beaming aboard with his daughter Alondra.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, what a welcome. I did not expect such a cold welcome from Geordi.
Commodore LaForge was not happy to see Admiral Picard, was he?
Mm-hmm.
He was not happy. And I guess, it feels like Geordi has taken this position at the Fleet Museum because he feels like I want to keep everybody safe. He's got his daughter Alondra there because we're safe. We're safe here at the Fleet Museum. I think the real reason that he's upset is because not that Sydney became a pilot, because we're going to get into this. There's this whole Sydney
Mm-hmm.
and Geordi headbutting. I don't think the issue is that she became a pilot. It's that she's gone somewhere where he can't protect her, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and what I love with him is that he is such a take charge kind of person. Have never seen that. Well, I won't say never. Rarely see that in the series where he's like in command. He walks off the transporter, gives the hugs. I didn't know if I should hug you or an awkward hug or a handshake. Oh my gosh, Geordi. Oh. But he's like, all right, we're going to go and discuss this. So come along, Captain. I was like, or Admiral. That's a power play right there.
Yeah, for sure. I liked seeing this Geordi, kind of grumpy Geordi. It was nice. And again, like I said, all of our characters have changed over the last 20 years. So to see Geordi like this was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So they go and have another powwow, and they are wondering, like, how are the people following? How is Starfleet following the Titan? Well, Geordi informs them that there's this new system, and now all the starships are talking to each other. And so basically, the Titan is a beacon. It's got Find My Phone function on it.
And isn't this something that sort of came up in Star Trek Prodigy? Remember, the Protostar had that virus on it, and as soon as they were in contact with another Federation ship, boom, it moved from ship to ship to ship. So I think we had sort of been given a heads up that this kind of thing happened already back on Prodigy.
Right. And so the fact that they were like warping, dropping a beacon, and then warping in a different direction, like that would seem to take a long time before they actually arrive at the Fleet Museum.
Yeah. They were trying to throw them off the trail, but it didn't seem to be working.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. We just don't know how much time has passed.
Yeah.
That's where my brain was going with that. All
And
right.
so here again is where we learn that Geordi is mad because Picard put Sydney in danger, right? Well, your daughters joined Starfleet. Like, people in Starfleet put their lives on the line.
Yeah.
I don't know what he thought he could do to keep her safe, but
okay. The next scene. How cute is this? So Seven's on bridge watch, and Jack comes in and sits in the captain's chair. We all know that if we were there, we'd want to be sitting in the chair. I just want to, try it out. Oh my gosh,
exactly.
I loved it.
I love the look on Jack's face in this image. Like, I'm getting away with something.
Yes, and he is. My dad's the captain. I can do whatever I want. That's what I was getting.
Yeah, almost. Very fun.
Yes. And what a fun little scene for us fans, because we get to play ship trivia as Seven scrolls through the images. And again, with the music, we get the Defiant and the Deep Space Nine music swells. And all the feels, Kevin, all the feels.
I know. This was and I think the feels came to the head when Seven is describing the Voyager, right?
Oh, yes.
That was peak feels.
Absolutely. Again, with the music, and she goes into like, Voyager was my family. And I just, all that scene where, I do not remember the episode title, but where she's like, Voyager is my collective. Oh,
yeah.
It just all came back, and tears with
it
that
was lovely. It was a lovely moment. Even though, it did feel, it was an odd scene. Like, it didn't really move the plot forward, but it moved our emotions, right? We were given a brief history of Star Trek in that 2-minute scene.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get some hate messages coming my way, because they're talking about the NCC 1701 Constitution class, right? Of course, that is so many people's favorite. But I was just like, and Jack just goes on and on about the clean lines and da-da-da. And I'm like, really? Are we going to go there? And I know it's just me, because everyone is going to scream at me saying that is the Enterprise. How dare I not allow to have the time to appreciate her beauty and her lines. But that's what I was feeling.
Well, but our show's called Galaxy Class.
That's right.
And there wasn't a Galaxy Class in the Fleet Museum, was there?
No, there wasn't. There wasn't the big one or the fat one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the original Constitution class that was there couldn't have been the Enterprise, because the Enterprise was destroyed, right? So it was the USS New Jersey, NCC 1975, which apparently is a reference to Terry Metalis. That's what he was born in New Jersey in 1975. So they threw that in there.
Well, very good. I have here on our slide presentation, thank you to
George
Hillebrand on Twitter, who posted this amazing image and has all of the ships that are around the station, the little, mushroom station, and their class and what they are. So that is very interesting. And I love smart people who do this.
Even the station itself is an Easter egg too, right? That's the same design as the space dock from, was it Star Trek 2 or 3?
Yeah.
It's a classic
It
design.
is. Yes. And it's seen a lot in TNG. It's just, our mushroom station is what we lovingly call it.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Yeah.
Paul, I am not putting your comment up here. Troy crashed the saucer. Wrong.
Troy saved everyone.
Thank you. That's our story. All right. So we get to Daystrom Station and they're trying to figure out, okay, all of these things, the crow, and we see this Zoom data composite. They're trying to figure out who are we communicating with. And they figure out, okay, there's all of these memories and stuff, right? We've got Lal, Data, Before, and Lore all blended into one. And they're searching, trying to find the manifest. And then they find this video recorded, Alton Soong's last video. And he's describing sort of, I think, his purpose. Like he wants to have a legacy. He wants, and he's figured out evolution is not an act of preservation. It's addition. And I was like, oh my gosh, beautiful, mathematical, of course. But when we are evolving, you're not trying to preserve, you're not trying to protect, you are adding to. And I just think that's beautiful to connect the theme of this episode.
Yeah, it's lovely. It seems like a weird thing for to me. I'm not sure I can wrap my head around why the Soong android is now the AI for this station, because it hasn't been that long, right? It was only 2 years ago, I think, in the timeline that Picard and Alton Soong went head to head, and we got the whole synthetic thing sort of taken care of. And in those 2 years, he's convinced the Black Ops division of Starfleet to allow his AIs to be the security for this station. That's interesting. I want to mention something about this image, the ceiling there. Did you watch the Ready Room for this week's episode?
Oh, shoot. No, I haven't yet.
So one thing that has been in a lot of episodes this season of Picard is that plastic grating that you see as the ceiling in this particular scene. That is the same plastic grating. If you go back and watch lots of episodes of Next Generation, it appears as wall structures with different colors behind it. It appears as it appears in dozens and dozens and dozens of episodes. And they went and found the original plastic grating wall covering that they used, and they've been using it in this season because you remember on the original series, you had that hexagon stuff that was wall stuff. On Next Generation, this plastic grating showed up everywhere. And you never noticed it because it was just sort of a background thing, but it's in almost every episode. And here it is again.
Wow.
I just wanted to point that out. Yeah.
A little bit of trivia. That's awesome.
So even the walls are an Easter egg here.
Everything is. That's awesome. So we're at this point sort of getting the setup of passing along your progeny, your evolution, your legacy. And we get little tidbits going back and forth where it's like Sydney or Geordie's talking about Sydney and how stubborn she is. Well, she gets it from Geordie. And then Picard's like, we're not in control of what we pass on, like including our flaws, our weaknesses, sins of our past. And like all of those are going through. And, we sort of get Soong. And again, he says a great line, within totality, someone will rise to be the best of us. And my gosh, what again, a beautiful line. The writers are so poetic, and they have this way, as Seven says, dropping these drive-by bits of wisdom. But it's like, as our children, we hope that they are the best of us. And if we are passing down the best of us each generation, like, we should be improving. We should have such a better future. I just love that idea in Star Trek, and it's really pointed out here.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It really is.
Yeah.
It's, in addition to being action-packed and intense emotionally, it's also it also feels wise too, doesn't it?
Yeah, very, very wise. And we learn here Geordi just cannot and is not willing to help. This is where it comes out. He fears for Sydney's life, and he can't protect her, just like you said at the beginning. Like, he's not going to help them, not at all. And he's sorry about that. But that's his choice. So, yeah, Picard comes walking out. Well, I have to respect your father, Sydney. You're going to stay here. She's like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And Father, can I see you for a second? And boy, she, with all the love and respect, is asking Geordi, why won't you help us? Like, she really wants to know what is going through your mind, Father.
Yes. Yeah. I love this scene too. I love the LaForges. I think it's a really great family dynamic. I love that even without speaking, when Alondra beamed in and saw Sydney there, you knew, okay, these sisters have a bond. And, Alondra's like, I'll work on them. Don't worry. Like, they know what's going on. They know what their dad can be like. I just, in very few words, we got an immediate picture of what the family dynamic of the LaForges is. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love where Geordi's like, let Starfleet handle it. She's like, I am Starfleet. Like, what are you not understanding? That is a great line. I loved that.
Yeah. And they are both following in their father's footsteps. So.
Yes, both of his daughters are. But points out that, Sydney's
that is Bruce
not
Gibson,
an engineer.
by the way, that said that. Bruce Gibson.
Hi, Bruce. Oh my gosh. So Bruce says, as a parent of daughters in college, yes, you do, I relate to this episode of letting my kids, allowing them to choose their career direction. And this is, I think, something Geordi, I don't know, did he struggle with it? I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but he didn't seem too happy that she's not an engineer, I guess, at this point still.
Well, as someone in the chat earlier, I think it might have been Rashid, pointed out, Geordi's parents were in Starfleet. Both of their parents were in Starfleet, and he didn't follow in their footsteps exactly. He joined Starfleet, but he became an engineer. He wasn't a captain like his mother, or his father was an admiral, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So, it was Paul. It was Paul who mentioned that. Sorry there, Paul. I didn't mean to misquote you. Yeah. So, like, the Sydney and Alondra are third generation Starfleet, at least. Geordi should be more supportive.
Mm-hmm. And Sydney, as she's walking out, I love strong kids that are setting their parents straight. I'm not afraid. You are. Ooh, burn. Yeah.
Yeah, it was lovely. Lovely.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, and because we see how strong Geordi is, like, all right, come on, Admiral, we got to figure this out. Sydney is just as strong. All right, Dad, you got to figure this out because this is what's right. And, you are afraid. We need to deal with that because that's the issue, not that you're trying to protect me. Yeah.
Right.
They're both so strong. So good. Yes.
Wonderful.
All right.
Now,
so
there was a
Yeah.
brief shot. We don't have this image, but there's a brief shot of Jack and the two LaForge daughters. And did you pick up on a like, hey, this Sydney is quite cute, and maybe there might be something between Jack and Sydney?
Exactly. Yes, because Sydney leaves the ready room and goes out to the bridge, and there's Jack and Alondra and Sydney. And Jack turned on the flirt big time. Yeah. So I'm sort of hoping for that. That looks pretty cute.
Wouldn't that be a nice, like, the next generation if, like, a Crusher Picard and a LaForge got together?
Yes,
Interesting.
exactly. And I had no idea what Jack was talking about. Like, I have a favor to ask. Did not even think that they would go and steal the cloak.
Okay, I've got a question about this. It was insinuated that they have stolen the cloak from the Bounty, which then had to be integrated, a Klingon cloaking device, into a Federation starship. Why wouldn't they steal the cloaking device from the Defiant, which is already integrated into Federation systems?
I do not know the answer to that question. You're right. The Defiant does have a cloaking device that's already integrated into Starfleet. Kevin.
But maybe that's the issue. Maybe because it's Starfleet tech, the rest of the fleet would be able to detect it. Maybe. That's the only. I'm headcanoning this whole thing, but yeah, that's my. And also the cloaking device in the Defiant was Romulan, not Klingon. Oh, Jim asks, why was the Bounty never returned to the Klingons? They did say that it was at the bottom of the ocean for the last 30 years.
Right.
They just recently were able to beam it out, or they beamed it out piece by piece or something. So,
yeah, I don't know.
And we're still on good terms with the Klingons, so.
Yeah. So they steal the cloak from the HMS Bounty, and that triggers Daystrom Station. And our friends, Worf, Raffi, and Riker, are still down on the station. So we've got something going on. And Picard, like, talks to them. It's like, all right, ships are warping in because the alarm has been set or activated. And I love when Worf's like, you're going to come to us with a cloak? Where'd you get this cloak? And Worf's like, superior Klingon technology, of course. I laughed out loud at that.
Now, I've got a bit of a nit to pick with this too. Small.
Okay.
So they had to decloak in order to beam them off.
Yes.
Yet the HMS Bounty in Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, beamed up Gillian Taylor in the park while the ship was still cloaked.
Oh, gosh. I don't know.
Again, it has been at the bottom of the sea for 30 years. So
because that has been, that's been a thing that, like, in generations, like they had to decloak to beam aboard Soren, right? That's just sort of been canon, but now that's from the Whale movie?
The Whale movie.
Yeah. So and that was before all of that. They must have like said, we need to have that changed.
Yeah.
After that movie.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, just a small nit that I'm picking, but it doesn't change anything.
Again, Kevin making very good points.
Again, Kevin regurgitating things he's seen in other blogs. But hey.
All right. So we go back to Daystrom Station, and Riker is adamant we are not going to leave this data golem aboard. We're not going to leave him behind. So we need to save Data. So Raffi's trying to unhook him. Is that what she's doing? I couldn't really follow that. Like, why wouldn't they just beam him out?
Because I think he was still attached integrated into the systems, right?
Okay. So Raffi was trying to disconnect him, and the Titan comes in, decloaks, and we've got company, and Riker goes off to ward off security. And he's like, don't worry, I'll buy you some time. Just beam everyone off. Make sure to get this data golem.
You know what I love
Riker,
is that we don't question that Riker's going to be an action hero, even though we know that all of these actors and their characters are senior citizens, right? They're all over 70. And yet we love Riker rushing in as an action hero. Like, this show, there's the characters we love so much are now older. They're all older. And there's this feeling in Hollywood that everything you need that people want to watch has to be young people, young. This show is proving the opposite. We can have a great show full of older characters, and we're still going to be excited and love this show.
Absolutely. As Jim McMahon says, loved Riker going Rambo. Yeah, he's taking care of business and protecting and buying them time. Absolutely. But he gets shot with the dart. And then that thingy, when I saw that, I was like, okay, did he get transported or was he shot? You know, because we saw Vadic with that weapon that destroys that, you know, her officers. It sort of looked similar. So there was a question, but I'm like, they are not going to kill Will Riker.
No. They need him they need him as a bargaining chip for Picard.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
I love the way Vadic says Picard. Picard. Yes. I love the way she says it.
I'm still on the fence with this character. Well, with the actor. The actor just freaks me out. It's too creepy.
Too creepy?
Yes. Something doesn't sit right when she's on screen with me.
Thank you, Nikki. That sums things up. I agree. This episode was a poetic love poem. Everything was in it was just touched me, you know? With one exception, which we haven't gotten to yet.
Okay. Well, so they are beamed aboard the Titan and they warp away before any of the Starfleet ships can fire at them. And Worf makes a promise he will bring Riker home. And next scene, we have Jack actually comforting Picard. Like, it's interesting because he's describing, oh my gosh, this was so funny too. He's describing all of these wonderful characteristics. And that's what I got from my mother. I'm like, yes, that was so funny. But then he continues and says, you know, well, I have bravery, loyalty, and being far wiser than I really should. And this probably comes from you, Father. And so maybe you didn't give me just the disease, but there are these other traits that have been passed down.
Yeah, for sure.
And it got me thinking, I know we're not supposed to do this right now, but you know, my counseling questions, what traits do you see specifically that come from your father, specifically from your mother? Do you have any? And do you think that is nature? Is it genetic or is it nurture because of how you were raised?
I don't know, because I've always felt like I'm very different from my parents. But let me think about that. I'll get back to you, counselor.
Okay. Yeah, these questions that I think of as I watch Star Trek. That's why I love Star Trek, because it's, you know.
My love of travel comes from my father. He always wanted to go to Alaska before he died. I'm sad he never got to go to Alaska before he passed away. But that's one thing I know I got from my dad.
Yeah. I know I've gotten a lot from my mother, and because I have such a large family on my mom's side and I see how other cousins are,
Mhm.
it's definitely genetic. Some of the traits I have.
Mhm, mhm.
So I really do. I like that they're building this bond a little bit more, Jack and Picard. And then we get Geordi and Sydney that are talking, and they're trying to. Oh, Geordi's decided to help and is going to help integrate the cloak system better, or is he's repairing
Yes.
the. Yeah, yeah. And Jordy's like, well, I think hand me this tool. And Sydney's like, no, Dad, you need this tool. Again, loving that. And here she opens up and is like, I was hurt all these years because you weren't happy that I didn't follow in your footsteps as an engineer. And the vulnerability, finally, that's where growth, love, and support happen. And that scene between them two where they're finally connecting, where they're finally talking, like, is very wonderful here, but for them.
No, it was beautiful. It was lovely. And the fact that when she admitted that she used to crash her speeders just so that she could work on them with her dad,
Yeah.
that's lovely.
I know. Kids just want to be loved by their parents and not judged. Loved, not judged. Come on. Yes.
We still don't know who Mom is, and I'm anxious to find out. Do you think we'll find out who their mother is before the end of the season? And who hopes it is not Leah Brahms? I do not want their mother to be Leah Brahms. I don't know who it could be. I just want it to be somebody that Geordi met and has had a lovely relationship with, but not Leah Brahms.
Well, I think it will be Leah Brahms.
Oh,
and
no.
I think if we get like at the very end with all of them as a reunion, it would be Geordi and his wife. I don't know. That's I think where it would be. I don't think it's important to the story at all, but I get your point. Yeah. All right. So we are finally analyzing data. And we now come to, which again, I don't understand all this techno babble. He's human with a positronic body, but
he's
yet
just
human.
like Picard, right? He's just like Picard.
Okay, so it is the golem, another
it's
one.
It's a golem body.
That Alton made after giving Picard that golem.
Okay. I believe so. That's how I'm reading this.
Okay.
Right? It's synthetic, but not android.
Right. So, yeah. Okay. All right. And they finally get to activate him, but they don't know who is going to be, who they're talking to. And his first word was
This
Geordi.
This was when the tears started for me on my rewatch, because my first watch was at 4:00 in the morning on my iPad, because I just want to watch it as soon as I get up so that I can't be spoiled the rest of the day. Then I come home from work and I sit and I watch it on my 65-inch flat screen. And that was the time when he looks and he gives that Data look and uses that Data voice and says, Geordi, I lost it, and the tears started flowing, and my friends were together again for the first time in over 20 years, and I'm tearing up just thinking about it right now. These people are my friends, and I don't like to see my friends be apart from each other and be mad at each other, and just the word Geordi was enough for me to go off.
Absolutely correct. That one word and just a little tilt of his head that we all know and love. And that one word brought in every single memory from the season of their friendship, of their back and forth, of their teasing, of their helping each other, of everything, like all of their relationship of the past 30 years comes in with the one word. Oh my gosh, it was brilliant. Brent Spiner still is doing it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
With one
And
word.
how many times during the show was it Geordi working on the back of Data's head or futzing with something that was being plugged into him? And I'm like, oh, we're being taken right back to where we were 30 years ago. And just,
Yep. Oh, I know. Oh, yeah, it was really good. That was definitely another time where the tears were coming out. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we do get a name for him, Daystrom Android M510. And I'm very curious as to why it's M5. Isn't that a TOS reference?
Could be, yes.
Because the M5
was that the Ultimate Computer?
Yeah.
That,
okay. Okay. Oh, now it's clicking.
Oh.
Okay. M5 and then 10, I guess, being the next. And it's doubled. So it's twice as good as the M5.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
Yeah. So they've activated this data golem. I don't know what to call him. Is he lore before soon? And then he's like, no, I am more. But they're trying to get what was taken, what was stolen. Give me the manifest. And all he keeps saying is Jean-Luc Picard. Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's broken.
Okay. Yeah. I did love that we saw Spiner run through all the characters. I'm Data, I'm Lore, I'm B4. And you could tell from his mannerisms how who he was, right? I don't think he ever said Lao, but
that was told by Alton Soong.
That Lao was part of the
part of the programming.
We haven't seen him.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him manifest that personality yet, though.
Right.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So then, we see Jean-Luc Picard and his actual body remains. That was what was stolen. Dun, dun, dun.
This I did not see coming. But that checks off the last thing. I think this checks off the last thing in our checklist of items shown in the closing credits: the DNA of Captain Picard.
Right.
Because that's the one thing that's left in the closing credit closing credit montage that we weren't quite sure of. Why is there that DNA strand in there? I think it has something to do with Picard.
And maybe the Irumodic syndrome?
Could be. Is it attached?
Because there's something
connected?
With the connection with Jack.
And does that disease have anything to do with the changeling disease? Maybe they're all connected somehow. We'll find out. But I think that's our last checklist of the closing credit montage is the Picard DNA.
Yeah, because it's got to get connected, but I still don't know how.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
This is interesting. James Kirk's body was also listed as being in the manifest of Daystrom Station. And again, according to one of the many, many blogs that I read, also Jonathan Archer may have been listed in the manifest there as well. Does Daystrom Station just collect the bodies of dead Enterprise captains? I'm not sure. But it's creepy.
Yeah, and creepy. I'm sorry, but Captain Kirk's bodies are buried in my backyard in Valley of Fire because that's where Meridian 3 was filmed.
Yeah.
So no, Daystrom Station can't have it. In my head canon, he's still in my backyard.
So I like this post that Jim has just made. It's definitely connected to Jack because Irumodic syndrome doesn't explain Jack's taking out those changelings so easily. I don't know. But yeah. But they keep everybody seems to know, everybody knew, all the changelings knew before Picard found out that Jack is the son of Jean-Luc. So Picard is connected somehow as well, right?
Yeah. Okay. So the very last scene, we have Riker who's getting tortured. And that was pretty cool where the person I was like, okay, who's saving Riker? And it turns out to be Vadic. Oh, gosh darn it. And the torture's going on. And he's like, well, you think after 35 years of my loyalty that I'm going to give up anything? And then she's like, hoo, evil laugh. You're not going to tell me for that. You're going to tell me because for her. And there we have Troy, a picture of Troy. And we're assuming that Vadic has Troy captive.
This was where my anger came in because I don't like seeing Deanna as a victim. That happened too many times on the show, and I had hoped we had moved past that. So my hope is that it is not Troy, is that it is a changeling who is posing as Troy. That is my hope, and I am going to stick to that until I am proven otherwise because I don't want it to be Troy the victim. I would like to see the real Deanna Troy show up on the Titan first. Because that was her ship too.
Exactly. And so is this Bruce again?
I am not sure. It's not coming up on my system yet.
Okay. So Facebook user says, was this Deanna Troy really a changeling? And that was my thought too. When I saw it, I was like, that could just be a changeling. Riker, don't fall for it. Don't do it. That's what I was screaming at the TV.
I wonder though, Troy and Riker have a link, right? A psychic link?
Yes.
I wouldn't think a changeling would be able to replicate that. So
but Riker doesn't. Well, does Riker feel Troy? There have been, I think, 2 instances where he has, but he's human. So I think they need to be in close proximity. So I think Riker is totally in the blind here. Troy obviously has a connection with him. So I don't want Riker to fall for it unless he can figure out, is this truly my Imzadi, not a changeling? Right.
I hope that I agree with Jim here that when they said they did say we need to collect up the friends of Picard, and the only one that was left from the original crew that we hadn't picked up was Deanna. So I'm hoping that they are on their way to pick her up and they have shapeshifted into her. I don't know. I don't want her to be a victim.
I completely agree. Yeah. Okay. So I have a question. This was sort of something that I need answered.
Okay.
So the Titans at Daystrom Station, they beam aboard. That's where Riker was stolen, right?
Yep.
Stolen onto the
Shrike.
To the Shrike. So if the Shrike was also at Daystrom Station, why did these other Starfleet ships not attack the Shrike? They were there. They were hunting the Titan. They were firing at the Titan. And what? Here's the Shrike just hanging out and they're ignoring the Shrike?
It's a very good
What-
question.
Is at the beginning of the scene, we have the Shrike going away from Daystrom Station after picking up Riker. Why weren't they?
Okay, so my first question was the Shrike cloaked? Can the Shrike cloak? Maybe they didn't know that the Shrike was there. That was first thought. Second thought, there are changelings on all of those ships.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Right? They're not really being chased by Starfleet. They're being chased by, as Jim says here, a compromised Starfleet.
Okay. Okay. That somewhat makes sense, that if those ships there protecting the station had changelings on board that would say, ignore that ship. That's a stretch, but it works.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, even if the Shrike didn't have a transponder, you could look out the window and see that there's another ship. I'm just saying.
True.
Sensors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That was the bounty. So, Kevin, final thoughts or themes or speculation you want to talk about?
I love this episode, with the exception of the thought that Deanna could be a victim again. I don't want that to happen. Other than that, I love this. Like I said, it's not. Is it really fan service if what they're serving us serves the story? I'm going to say no, because they are drawing on Star Trek history, all parts of Star Trek history, from the original series right through to Nemesis. They're drawing on that as inspiration for this show, and I am loving it. So I don't know where we're going from here. I don't know where the Titan can go that it will be safe. I'm trying to think of a place, unless we did send Laris off to Romulan territory. Maybe that's where we head next to get away from the Federation. Although we've also got a ticking clock, right? We have to solve this before Founders Day. So I'm excited, and there's only 4 episodes left. Only 4 episodes left.
I know. Stop saying that. Oh. So one of the themes that just was screaming at this episode was this idea of fatherhood. And my gosh, we're just collecting all the fathers. We've got Picard and Jack, Riker and Thaddeus, Geordi and Sydney, Alton and his progeny.
Worf and Alexander. Oh.
Hashtag too soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Worf is not on this list.
No, we haven't even mentioned Alexander. He's mentioned both of his fathers, his Klingon father and his human father, but not his son.
I know. Oh my gosh, Worf. And to contrast that, we are getting this theme with the children of finding your family and who are you because of your family. Of course, we have Jack, Sydney, but then I'm lumping Seven in with this because, you know, when she was talking with Jack and she was talking about Voyager, and Jack's like, so you're looking to find a new family because the Voyager crew is no longer together. And I just love that we're getting these threads shown to us through different characters. I love that about Star Trek.
Yeah. It's about natural families, and it's about found families, and it's about doing what's right for the people you love, whether they are biologically your family or not. It's lovely. It's lovely.
Yeah. And one thing I've noticed with this season is that so much time has passed, and we're obviously getting that. I mean, you get old Riker flashback to Encounter at Farpoint, and you're like, wow, the changes. But the crew has gone through so much change. They are not who we knew from the series. And I
Right.
think that is so brilliant to show them where they are. Like Jordy, man, he's salty and he's trying to be this protector. Like
Yeah.
he's not the risk taker that he used to be. Bev's not even in Starfleet. She went off to do Doctors Without Borders. Worf meditating. What? Picard recognizing his flaws, and Data is now this golem. Like they've changed so much. And I'm just wondering, how are they going to show that Troy has changed? I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know that I really want to go down that road because I like her professional aspect of her character as well. I don't know.
And she was so lovely in Nepenthe. And she told Jean-Luc what he needed to hear, not what he wanted to hear, but what he needed to hear. She can cut through Picard's bullshit, pardon my French. And I want that Troy again as well. I don't want a Troy who's going to be harping at Riker for taking off from his family. It feels like Riker and Troy have had some issues in their marriage since we saw them last. And I don't want that to be defining her. I don't want her to be the angry wife. I want her to be her own person who is standing up for herself and her family. So that's what
can I say one thing?
Go for it.
I wanted to, like, with Troy, like you were saying, like in Nepenthe, she was counseling Picard. Like that's the professional aspect that I want to see. Her as a counselor, her doing her job. Like that's what I want to see.
That is what I want to see as well. Oh, it's all good.
Incoming transmission.
We would love to hear what you thought of today's episode and hope you'll join our Facebook group, the BQN Collective, to continue our discussion there. And if you're watching us live, it's there too. You can also tweet your thoughts at Galaxy Class Pod, or you can follow the network on Twitter and Instagram at BQN Podcasts.
So please hit the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast to leave us a star rating and a written review. That helps others find the show. Now, you can also follow the entire network's podcasts with our master feed by searching for the BQN. This way you won't miss any of our fine shows like All Good Things, Union Federation, History with the Szilagys, Infinite Diversities, Trexperts Quiz, and What's the Tea, Bev? So, Amy, where can people find you when you are crawling through a creepy, deserted museum of weird oddities that were collected over centuries?
That's
attack Tribble!
Even Worf's is still afraid of Tribbles. That was
I would be scared of that Tribble. Did you see the teeth on it?
Oh, yeah, right? Yep. So, when I'm not creeping around looking for weird space oddities, Discovery reference, you can find me here on the network where I am co-hosting Union Federation, All Good Things. I am also on Twitter at Miss Amy Nelson, but my favorite place right there at the BQN Collective, our Facebook group. So, Kevin, where can people find you when you're... why are we live? I hate this.
Go with whatever comes to your brain first.
I know. Kevin, where can people find you when you are whistling Pop Goes the Weasel all the way through?
You can find me in the BQN Collective. I post there occasionally. You can find me on Facebook, on Twitter at True North Nerds, which is the podcast I do with some local friends about nerdity and geekery and all that good stuff. Our last episode, we went and saw Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and we talked about that for quite a while, so that will be fun. Our next episode will be about the Dungeons and Dragons movie, which comes out next week, so we're very excited about that too. But like I said, BQN Collective, Facebook, follow me there, Twitter also as well.
Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
Each week, you can become a patron of the network on Patreon. We are putting out more exclusive content for our patrons that you won't want to miss, like It's Green or Amy's Math Moments. With a monthly Patreon subscription of $5 or more, you can join our meetings of the Hive Mind on the second Saturday of each month. Watch your Patreon messages for details. For a huge shout out to our very own associate producers, Jim McMahon and Davey Willett. We are so grateful for your support.
And at this time, we would like to thank our executive producers who make this all possible. Special thanks to Mark White for our show artwork and Joe Keegan, who has written this lovely show music.
Thank you for beaming aboard Galaxy Class. And until next time.
That's a relief. I was practicing deceit. Breakups in my homeworld seldom end without bloodshed.
Great joy and gratitude.